Uncovering Africa's Stolen Legacy. Who do you think laid the foundation for mathematics? Who tracked the movement of the sun and moon, pioneered early medicine, and contributed to countless innovations? What about the ancient ruins of Zimbabwe? Who really built them? If you've only heard the mainstream narrative, you might assume these achievements belong to Europeans, Arabs, or Babylonians. But the truth is far more complex and often deliberately erased. History has repeatedly overlooked and misattributed the brilliance of African civilizations. If we were to list every African achievement that has been credited to others, we'd never reach the end. So today we're diving deep into Africa's incredible contributions, innovations that shaped the world, yet were stolen, ignored, or rewritten. Let's uncover the truth. It's a tragedy that much of Africa's history only began to be documented when Europeans arrived and colonized the continent. Before that, countless records were either erased, manipulated, or distorted, leaving many African achievements falsely credited to Europeans. With little existing evidence to prove Africa's role in these innovations, history was rewritten to favor the colonizers. But there's hope. Over time, scholars and anthropologists have turned their focus to Africa, drawn in by the architectural marvel of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The question arose, could such a grand structure truly exist in an African nation like Egypt? And if so, what other lost civilizations and groundbreaking innovations might still lie buried beneath the sands of time? One particularly revealing case is the story of Great Zimbabwe. For years, its ruins were wrongly attributed to Europeans, Babylonians, Phoenicians, and other foreign civilizations. Anyone but the African people who actually built it. Yet Great Zimbabwe, located in present-day Zimbabwe, stands as an undeniable testament to Africa's architectural and engineering brilliance. This is just one of many stories where Africa's legacy has been erased or misattributed. It's time to uncover the truth. The breathtaking ruins of Great Zimbabwe stand as the largest stone structures south of the Sahara. For centuries, outsiders refused to believe that Africans were behind their construction. Instead, the credit was given to foreign civilizations. However, overwhelming evidence now confirms that these expertly crafted stone fortifications were built by the Shona people, who thrived in the region during that era. Great Zimbabwe wasn't just an architectural wonder, it was the heart of a vast gold trade network that stretched across the Indian Ocean. Yet when early European visitors encountered these ruins, they struggled to accept that Africans could have been the masterminds behind such an advanced civilization. Instead, they searched for alternative explanations, attributing the city's origins to various foreign groups. By the late 1500s, Portuguese traders speculated that Great Zimbabwe might be the legendary city of the Queen of Sheba or even the biblical city of Ophir. Later visitors proposed other theories, claiming the site was built by Phoenicians, Arabs, Egyptians, or even the mythical Christian king, Prester John. These speculations weren't just errors. They were deliberate attempts to erase Africa's role in its own history, dismissing clear evidence of African ingenuity and achievement. Many colonizers clung to the Eurasian theories, attributing the Great Zimbabwe ruins to anyone but the historical Shona builders. However, pioneering archaeologists like David Randall McIver, Gertrude Caton Thompson, and Roger Summers provided concrete evidence confirming that the Shona people were, in fact, the true architects of these remarkable structures. Despite their findings, the myth of the site's foreign origins persisted among many colonizers.
Before we continue, let me ask you, are you enjoying the video? If so, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more eye-opening content. Now let's move on. Another incredible African achievement often credited to others is the exquisite Ife heads discovered in Nigeria in the 1940s. These extraordinary sculptures, crafted by the Yoruba people, stand as a testament to Africa's rich artistic heritage. Between the 10th and 11th centuries, the city of Ife flourished as a hub of culture and artistry. It was home to the Uni, the ruler and spiritual leader of the Yoruba people. While neighboring cities like Benin and Oyo grew more politically dominant, Ife remained revered for its artistic excellence, particularly its breathtaking brass and terracotta sculptures. The lost wax process was used to create bronze castings in Ife, a technique similar to that of the ancient Greeks. However, the precision and artistry displayed in Ife sculptures set them apart as remarkable achievements in their own right. In fact, Ife artists managed to create casts of nearly pure copper, something that even the Greeks, Romans, Chinese bronze casters, and Italian Renaissance artists couldn't achieve. When these sculptures were discovered, many foreigners were astonished by their beauty and craftsmanship. However, some critics refused to acknowledge their African origins. One such figure was Leo Frobenius, a German archaeologist who was among the first to study Ife in depth. During his expedition, he discovered a sacred grove of Osangangan Obamakan, northwest of the Ife Palace. There he unearthed fragments of a terracotta face sculpted in a highly naturalistic style. Instead of accepting the sculptures as the work of African artists, Frobenius insisted they resembled ancient Greek art, fueling his theory that a superior non-African race must have once lived in the region. His most famous discovery was the Aulican brass head, which he claimed was proof of a lost Greek colony on the Atlantic coast of Africa. Rather than recognizing African ingenuity, he tried to attribute these masterpieces to outsiders, reflecting a long history of erasing African accomplishments. Frobenius' publications cemented these Eurocentric ideas in popular culture, leaving the art world both astonished and misled. His theories, however, were nothing more than fantasies, bearing no resemblance to reality or any known African artistic traditions. The Ife heads, renowned for their breathtaking craftsmanship and lifelike detail, captivated art historians, particularly those familiar with European art. These sculptures were quickly recognized as true masterpieces, worthy of comparison to the great works of ancient Egypt, classical Greece, Rome, and the European Renaissance. Yet rather than acknowledging their African origins, early scholars clung to the assumption that such remarkable artistry must have come from elsewhere. Some speculated that the sculptures were either imported from a foreign civilization or created by an outsider working within Africa. Sadly, despite overwhelming evidence confirming their African roots, this bias led to the erasure of Ife's artistic legacy, obscuring its rightful place in world history. The tendency to attribute African achievements to non-African sources reinforces outdated stereotypes, undermining Africa's rich cultural and artistic heritage. But this misrepresentation doesn't stop with architecture. Mathematics is another area where African contributions have been overlooked. Did you know that many of the mathematical concepts we study in high school originated in Africa? Over 35,000 years ago, ancient Egyptians wrote textbooks on mathematics, covering topics like division, multiplication of fractions, and geometric formulas for calculating areas and volumes. They even used mathematics to predict the annual Nile floods with remarkable accuracy. Beyond that, the Egyptians understood that a circle contained 360 degrees and estimated the value of pi to be 3.16, astonishingly close to the actual value. But Egypt wasn't alone in mathematical innovation. In present-day Zaire, people developed a unique numeration system over 8,000 years ago. Meanwhile, the Yoruba people of Nigeria created a sophisticated base 20 system, requiring advanced subtraction techniques. Scholars have praised this system for its complex abstract reasoning, proving that Africa was a hub of intellectual achievement long before many other civilizations emerged. African contributions to astronomy and medicine. Africa's legacy of innovation extends beyond mathematics. Ancient African civilizations made groundbreaking discoveries in astronomy and medicine that still shape our knowledge today. For example, the Egyptians meticulously charted the movement of the sun, constellations, and moon cycles, developing a 365.25-day calendar system long before modern calendars existed. Their understanding of timekeeping was equally impressive. They built water clocks and sundial-like devices to measure time with astonishing precision. And when it comes to medicine, Africa was far ahead of its time. Before Europe became a dominant force, civilizations in Egypt, Nigeria, and South Africa had already developed advanced medical practices. They used natural remedies like salicylic acid for pain relief, similar to modern aspirin, and kaolin to treat diarrhea. Some plant extracts were even found to kill gram-positive bacteria, a discovery that wouldn't be confirmed by Western medicine until the 20th century. But that's not all. Africans also developed powerful treatments for cancer, malaria, and even methods for inducing abortion. While Europeans were still struggling with basic survival, Africans had already made medical breakthroughs that remain relevant today. In fact, ancient African civilizations pioneered medical procedures that continue to influence modern medicine. Their advancements included vaccination, autopsy, limb traction, setting of broken bones, brain surgery, skin grafting, dental fillings, cesarean sections, anesthesia, and tissue cauterization, all long before these techniques became standard elsewhere. Remarkably, while Europeans were only beginning to grasp the importance of antiseptic conditions and medical interventions, many African cultures were already performing surgeries in meticulously sterilized environments. These groundbreaking medical achievements challenge long-standing misconceptions and highlight Africa's rich and sophisticated scientific heritage. The medical legacy of ancient Africa stands as a testament to the ingenuity, expertise, and innovation of its practitioners, leaving an indelible mark on the evolution of medical science. Yet despite these contributions, history has repeatedly misattributed African achievements to Europeans. Isn't it unfair that so many of the innovations we rely on today from medicine to mathematics, astronomy, and architecture, are falsely credited to Europeans and Americans? Shouldn't we recognize and honor the true pioneers of these discoveries? It's essential to address the misattribution of African achievements and the ongoing issue of cultural appropriation. If you believe that Africa's contributions have been erased or stolen, then the solution is clear. Educate ourselves, seek out reliable sources, and challenge historical inaccuracies. By engaging in critical thinking, examining historical evidence, and embracing diverse perspectives, we can reclaim the truth and shed light on the extraordinary contributions of Africa. The continent's vast and rich history holds a wealth of knowledge and innovation. It's time to acknowledge, celebrate, and give credit where it is due. It is essential to challenge the long-standing narratives that have contributed to the erasure of African contributions and the false perception of African inferiority. For far too long, history has been distorted, stripping Africa of its rightful place in shaping civilization, science, and innovation. Education is a powerful tool in rectifying these historical inaccuracies and addressing the cultural appropriation of African achievements. By fostering a more accurate and inclusive portrayal of history, we can take a step toward a more just and equitable society, one that acknowledges the brilliance of African civilizations. Moreover, it is crucial to amplify African voices and perspectives in the reclamation of their history and heritage. By listening to the stories, experiences, and insights of African scholars, historians, and cultural experts, we can gain a deeper, more authentic understanding of Africa's monumental contributions across various fields. In our relentless pursuit of truth, we must commit ourselves to uncovering, restoring, and celebrating the authentic achievements of Africa, accomplishments that have been either unjustly disregarded or falsely credited to others. The time has come to reclaim the legacy, honor the innovators, and rewrite history with the truth it deserves. By taking on this mission, we can honor the remarkable achievements of African civilizations and contribute to a more accurate, comprehensive, and inclusive account of human history. Highlighting these often overlooked contributions not only acknowledges the ingenuity and brilliance of African societies, but also deepens our understanding of the rich and diverse heritage of human progress. It is crucial to challenge historical narratives that have wrongfully credited African accomplishments to Europeans. By recognizing and celebrating the true contributions of African civilizations, we can correct past injustices and create a more truthful and inclusive historical record. Embracing Africa's vast legacy of innovation and excellence not only pays tribute to its rich cultural heritage, but also enhances our collective appreciation of humanity's shared achievements. Let's continue to uncover and celebrate these hidden stories, ensuring that Africa's extraordinary legacy is acknowledged and honored for generations to come.